now we review the 2019 film John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am Richard, this is Random Street Theater, and I have finally seen John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, on my way to seeing John Wick Chapter 4. So yes, getting caught up. Before I go any further, let me of course remind you that for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from the company 4Ocean. 4Ocean then pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. So, if you would be so kind as to support this channel by subscribing, perhaps convincing other people to subscribe, by liking this video, commenting, of course sharing it with your friends, then, we may all get together and have a cleaner world. I'm all about conservation. I would save the world if I could afford it. It's very expensive. Anyway, so John Wick Chapter 3 starts off pretty much exactly where John Wick Chapter 2 leaves off. So if you haven't seen that movie, I have to give you a spoiler alert for John Wick Chapter 2. Basically, John Wick has been declared an enemy of the assassin state, and he has to fight through all of these assassins. Okay? But because he did that, the people that helped him when he did that are also being excommunicated. Yes. It's kind of all blurs together. This movie is almost two movies. There's the first half of him fighting all the assassins, and the second half of him fighting all the assassins on behalf of some of the people who have helped him. It's confusing. Yes. So, again, how do I describe this without spoiling? I'm off. Yes. Well, I'm just getting off track here. Anyway, so what you have in the beginning of this movie is that John Wick has about an hour to get someplace safe or get patched up or whatever it was so that he can survive. And of course, the first act of the movie is one of the assassins breaching that hour of excommunication, and John Wick is going to a secret stash where he has a blood marker and other agreements stashed away for a rainy day. So he does that, puts his dog in a safe place, and then he basically goes to see the head of the assassins, the biggest cheese there is. He has to go through Halle Berry to do that, and shout out to Halle Berry. I mean, yes, Keanu Reeves is John Wick. He is the heart of this franchise. He is Batman. He is indestructible, and no matter how many times he gets hurt, he seems to be able to get... I mean, he should still be dead from the first movie. He still should be in, like, a coma or something from the first movie. He should be dead or in a coma from the second movie, and he should be dead and in a coma from this movie. But yes, John Wick 3, awesome fight scenes, non-stop action, and Halle Berry being hot. Love all of those things. The problem, of course, is that once again, this movie gets so ridiculous. I mean, it's like they have the minting plant where all these coins are being made, and, that there is a head of the Assassin's Council, which is like something they just pulled right out of their tail end, because how could that be a thing? It's like all these hotels for assassins and this ridiculous number of trained assassins. There's this entire secret world that exists within our own, built on this hierarchy, and that's really weird. Alright? So, that weirdness, we take that and then set that aside, and this also introduces the concept of the adjudicator. Okay? An adjudicator is somebody who is sent by the council to address broken codes, you know, to address when an assassin decides to not be assassiny anymore and not respect their social contract. The adjudicator is sent to decide a punishment. And that punishment can be physical injury or excommunication or death or whatever it is, you know. And once again, it does feel like there was a point where this movie was supposed to end, and then they said, you know, it's not long enough. Let's clump another movie in here. So it feels like it's almost episodes. Episodes which in and of themselves are complete and interesting stories. They are related, they do flow into each other, but there is a climax to each. And there is an homage here to The Matrix, where John Wick comes out there and says, you know, it's like, what do you need? Guns. Lots of guns. And then he only gets like 2 guns. Which, I mean, you know, the concept of, the symbol of the assassin is the dagger. They're stealth fighters primarily. So I would think that, you know, these guys would have the Teflon-coated bullets, ice pick edge Teflon-coated bullets that were present in one of the Lethal Weapon movies. Because they're a real thing. I mean, there are such a thing as Teflon-coated bullets, which are supposed to pierce the armor. Now, maybe that type of armor is outdated, and these guys are wearing, like, the dragon skin porcelain. I don't know. It's never really stated, but you would think, I mean, for one thing, like, alright, I understand why John Wick, being a movie character, is not sporting a Desert Eagle 50 cal, or perhaps one of the Dirty Harry long barrels, but let's be clear, they make guns where it doesn't matter if you're wearing armor. So it's like, oh yes, this guy's wearing armor. Well, guess what, dude? I've got hollow point bullets in here, and I've got a 48, you know, or 45, or whatever the number is. 50 cals are very rare, although it's entirely possible they would get those in this movie. But it's like, look, if I've got a decent caliber weapon and, say, you know, a 38 Magnum with hollow points, yeah, okay, you're wearing armor, but that armor is not going to really mean all that much, because I could shoot you in the leg, and in a few minutes you'll be in shock from the balloon effect, and you'll be dropping over. So, I mean, these guys would have to be in really, really heavy-duty armor. And then it's like, where the heck is this army of attackers coming from? Because why do these people have an army designed to deal with this? But I digress. So, look. John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. And, by the way, Parabellum is from a Latin phrase that means to prepare for war. Parabellum means essentially war. Okay, so it's John Wick, war. And that's what it is. Yes, it is John Wick wasting some fools, which is what we all want to see. Alright. Wonderful movie. Lots of fun. Kind of silly. But I mean, you know what? It's not as silly as, say, a 70s Godzilla movie. It's just, you know, The Matrix toned down. The Matrix toned down, not the sequels, because this is just way too not crazy for the sequels. There are no giant baby faces made of machines in this movie. But still, belongs on your watch list. Very enjoyable, crazy film. Lots of fun. Above the middle, not the top of your watch list, not the middle of your watch list, but somewhere in between. You should definitely get this movie seen. I enjoyed it. I'm Richard. Greetings, good Samaritans. I'm Zooey from iHeartCats.com, reminding you to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you want to help shelter cats this Christmas, go to iHeartCats.com.